Already gotta say this time changes. It's a buster, I tell you. Getting up an hour early like this, it makes a difference, doesn't it? Anyway, so something kicked in here, and I believe it was Trump saying something about the war being very complete. And I guess that was a very positive reaction because see the market took off. I'm watching oil freaking collapsing. And wow, it's sitting there, oil is trading at $95 a barrel, and suddenly it's down $10, down to 88 or something. Like, wow, 87. We even went to 87. They're all the way down to 86.70. That's how far they went. That was a collapse and a half. Now, if you were sitting on a long trade there and you were not protected, you probably blew up your account there. Got auto liquidated, and yeah, the day is ruined. But anyway, you can see my charts are not even keeping up on this thing here. Right now we're trading at 29,950 on the Nasdaq. So we're even higher than this, 950. We're a little bit higher than that. And everything turned positive in a big way. So but today has been one of those crazy trading days. It's one of those days I said this morning, I'm just going to sit on the sideline. I'm going to watch it. If I see an opportunity, I may take it. But everything has been 10-point type of bars, and when they have doldrums, it's looking at 5 to 10 point bars. So the range is pretty darn crazy. So you have to be just massively cautious when you're trading this. Pulling down the capital flow here, you can see how capital flow in the ES. And right now we are taking out that 6760s, and we are right borderline heading back up in this upper range again. So that's a good sign. If we can hold, if we can get up above that 6760 and hold, we can be in pretty good shape going into the overnight. But we'll see. There's still a half hour left, so we potentially could still see some weakness in, developing. But given what's said right now, I don't think we have enough time to second guess it and for the market to react negatively. I think we're going to be staying on the track to the upside. So starting off right now, I would start with a bias to the upside and see how far they want to take it in the overnight. But we are in a pretty volatile scenario, so who knows? It could headline come out like the scare we had in overnight, and we had a scare. That was a scare and a half. We're looking at we were down, we gapped down, we were all the way down here to the 65 70s. We were in territory where it's going to be oh crap, this is just going down the tubes. But no, they reversed it, and they've been flirting with this area for about. They reverse retested that 67.15, finally took it out, and now the last little burst we had totally took us out, took us up above that. Now you can see here on the ES, if I scroll it back, I'm not going to make it bigger, but we were trading here around about that 67.15s, kind of struggling with it, and then the news came. You can see M period straight shot up. So yeah, we are on our way higher. If they can get up above the 67.75, that would be a higher Friday, given what the headline was. So yeah, the time change. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I totally agree with you. It's just and this time when you have to spring forward, that's the worst. You get up at 3, usually get up at 4. It's brutal. But anyway, so starting off with the bias to the upside, unless they close down here below that 67.15, I'm going to start with that bias to the upside going into the overnight. And this could be good if there's some follow through on this statement with some actual other people saying some stuff and things the shooting is kind of tampering down. We may have actually a pretty good scenario building. I'm not quite sure we're there yet, but anytime you hear stuff like that, it's good. And Nasdaq also rocketing higher to got Friday's high. They are heading higher. If you look at capital flow in the Nasdaq, uh, we are right up in this value area again, heading up to test the 25 120s. So we are back in the range. I'm starting off range bound with a bias to the upside on both the ES and Nasdaq, given what we're looking at, and see if far they can take it. But you can see now when my bars start looking spaced a little bit like this, it means he's not keeping up right now. It's so behind. Now, if you're in doubt, chart is MNQ is at 950, but my chart is at 941. But the simple manager keeps up. It doesn't do any fancy stuff. It just shows you what the last price is. That's what it is warning here on my internet connection here. I don't see my simple manager pop up on the remote screen as yet, but right now the simple manager should show you the current price. It's showing right now the Nasdaq at 980. The chart is at 960, so a little bit behind on that guy, as you know. But that's how you can see it on your chart if in doubt that you're behind or not. So sometimes when it's crazy like this, your chart won't keep up. It does too much stuff happening, and that's how it goes. But anyway, so ES and Nasdaq starting with the buy stop. The only trade I took was on the Nasdaq. You can see it over here on the very right-hand side, on the left-hand side. That was on the second, the extension of the initial balance, the purple line. I got short there. I scratched the trade after a bar because it wasn't developing fast enough. But that could have been a nice 740 down to 600. It's like 140 point trade. If I could have stuck with that, that would have been beautiful. But it's I scratched that trade because it wasn't developing fast enough. And a day like this, you kind of have to be on top of it. So you can't just let it sit there and sit because it market sneezes and it shakes you out of that trade. So he has one trade on the Nasdaq. He has a scratch, so zero on that one. On the bond market, though, the bond market just popped as well. Nice little pop to the upside. I did have working order on the bond market here earlier on at the 09s. I had it clicked in it for a bit, and I was watching it. It's like, you know what? This action doesn't quite look like you want it to look. They had a nice run to the upside. They're stalling. They pulled back from that thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pull back a little bit and see how it develops. I got out of it. I canceled that order. And then they took it another leg higher, backed off, and now even higher than that. So yeah, that would not have worked well at all. So volatile, you know, the only way to deal with it is that either you don't trade. If it's too volatile, just don't trade. Go back to the instead of making everything bigger. Unless you really have a setup you believe in, then you can certainly be on top of it. But if it's you know, if you have another trade, it's always another trade to take. So until the craziness stops. It times and I engage it much harder than I should. And if the worst happens, you get in and they run it just enough to stop you out and you get time to get back in again. Right again, basically run out either way of your time to take it. And you can be right on the entry. It's just too volatile. So they run a little bit higher than you thought, get you out. They turn around, they run it against you hard enough for you to knock you out. So and when you're right, you get shaken out because you're so volatile, and when you're wrong, you just lose. So that usually gets you into a very shitty spot. So I kind of taking the tack now, like when I know it's going to be a crazy volatile day like this, sit on the sidelines or look for a bond trade instead. And news for tomorrow before we wrap it. The only thing we have is small business optimism at 6, and then existing home sales at 10. 3-year auction at 1. So that's what we got going tomorrow. But anyway, so we'll leave it there for now. Let's see how crazy this gets. Definitely looks like a strong close on the day. So we'll take it. Given how the day started, we'll take it. Right? Anyway, leave it there. I'll see you back in the morning. Later.